uh, Mr. Kiran Deshpande ji, who is a very dynamic personality and yet very humble. So I would just like to give a brief introduction of his, though there is a lot to say, but very briefly, let me tell us about himself. Kiran Deshpande ji has been a technology professional since 1978. He has played a major role in funding years of Indian software industry. He has built technologies at times, first time globally and played a lead in commercializing these. He thus carries a unique combination of conceptualizing software technologies and driving their commercialization. His experience is more than 25 years in software services as software engineer to CEO and more than 18 years as co-founder of a classical technology product startup headquartered in Silicon Valley. Kiranji has served as CEO and MD of TechM from 1996 to 2001, during which the company grew from 32 crores to over 450 crores and TechM emerging as a leading IT service company. His founding years was in TCS, where 4 years he has spent in business development and 5 years in software R&D and TCS research. Now, Kiranji is a board advisor. He's also mentor to many founders and CEOs of tech companies and an angel investor. He was elected to IITB AA Global Board in 2020. On social service front, Kiranji has been Thai Pune chapter member since 2009 and he has served as president from 2016 to 2019. In fact, we are very obliged that he was the one who was the president when Thai Surat chapter started. He has also played a very key role in nurture program, which basically take initiatives in mentoring Thai Pune that has been globally adopted and has personally mentored over 30 startups. Kiranji is director of 14 Tree Foundation, a not-for-profit organization dedicated to creating green cover on destroyed barren uncultivated land with a native vegetation and a scalable model. Basically, he is an MTech from IITB and B honors from BITS Pilani. He's a senior member of IEEE and member of ACM and has spoken a number of events and conferences. Not only this, he is very health conscious too. He's an avid jogger and enjoys Hindustani classical music and photography. We are very happy and we welcome you, Kiran Sirji, to this session. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, Hemlata. Thank you for generous compliments.
Thank you.
So should we start, Hardik?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I hope you are able to hear me. If you can just some few thumbs up, please, if you can hear me. Hardik, can you hear me? Yes. Okay, I got a few of them. Perfect. Okay, at least few of you are able to hear. That's great. It's always a pleasure to be with Thai Surat, and I'm very glad to see a lot of women entrepreneurs, which is a very great sign in terms of the overall ecosystem. We're going to cover today a topic called strategy, which frankly I get very scared about because it is an area which is very deep, very wide, and we have barely 90 minutes within which to try and make some sense out of it. We will dig into the topic of strategy, but I hope that post this session, this will stay at the background or at the canvas of whatever you are doing. And I'll also share some real life examples as they come. I have a very simple slide deck, and we will also share a form with you where we will try and take a small exercise to strategize. Sometimes it's easier to learn from the slide, but extremely difficult to apply. I don't know how many of your engineering graduates, or at least I know for sure that there are certain courses where you understand the formula extremely well, but you try and apply that, and that's when the difficulty happens. But if you stay at it, it will it comes to you, and once you get it, then it stays with you all your life, not just for the work that you're doing right now. I'm going to now share my screen, and just let me know if you can see the screen. Let's see what I can pick it up from here. Desktop. Share. Who can share? Can you make me host or allow me to share the screen? I think is it possible?
Yes, sir. I have made you the co-host.
Okay, perfect. Let me try again then.
Mhm.
Can you see my slide with first slide and deck on the right side?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, can you see the slide in an animation mode?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So, I purposefully, titled it Introduction to Strategy. As I said, strategy is a very, very deep and wide subject, and it is difficult to cover every bit of it. So it's a very tiny introduction, but it'll get us going. Like, as Hemlata mentioned, I jog. And, those who don't walk, don't jog, my only suggestion always to them is start somewhere, even 100 meters, 50 meters, 20 meters, whatever you can do to begin your journey of a particular area does help you. So this is like, in a marathon, probably we're going to cover maybe first couple of kilometers or maybe even just a kilometer, but it will get us going on the journey. Can you see the next slide, please? 3 arrows.
Yes, sir, we can.
Perfect. Okay, now some of you may have seen this slide and the others may not have seen the slide. Those of you who attended my last class, or if you are part of the nurture program of TiE Surat along with TiE Pune, then you would have seen this when we took the session on go to market. So what I felt was that let's start simple and start with something that we are familiar with. So I'm not going to go through the full slide, but I will sort of share with you gist of what it is. So go to market, as you see the 3 arrows, what you want to sell, to whom do you want to sell, and where is your market? These are the 3 fundamental questions that you ask yourself for your go to market strategy. And what is a market? Market is a basket of potential customer. So for example, you take Procter and Gamble, Colgate, Facebook, the entire humanity is their customer. For some of us who are starting afresh, as I always say, my popular quote is that your brother's schoolmate could be your potential customer, and that becomes your market. So the market is a set of individuals or organizations that have requirement which you will fulfill through your product and service. Now, go to market is to define what to sell, whom to sell, where to sell, and most important, the mechanism of how to create awareness in the designated market. So if you have a family friend who's your market, let that family friend know that you have something to offer becomes your marketing strategy. Somewhere down the line, you will possibly be looking at much bigger market, and that is what happens. And this is my third slide rather, where you go from very basic first go to market to second go to market to third go to market, and the life continues. You become successful, and then you become a bigger company, and you continue to iterate through your go to market strategy all the time. You have more teams, and as I've said in the beginning, proof of concept to acceleration to scaling the company from phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, whatever, wherever else you want to go. And that is where your overall strategy now comes into the picture. Okay, now let's take the 3 dimensions. The reason I decided to pick the same, I would say, approach was because somehow I felt that these two are very closely connected. So what is the strategy? Let's try and understand. What is it that, look at the first arrow or the y-axis if you can. What is it that you want to do? Now, you remember the Karlo Duniya Muthi Mein, there was an ad like that. So maybe that's what you want to accomplish. What is it that you want to accomplish? It's a very important, because every entrepreneurship has something underlying this. So it is a good idea to dig into it. Sometimes people are very clear that I want to make money. That's fine. That's fine too. But it's important to understand what is it that you want to accomplish. In order to accomplish that, that's your goal. Where will you play? Which market will you play? That is your, if I have to use it, Z-axis. And how will you play? So these 3 things, what is it that you want to do? Where will you play? And how will you play? Answers to these 3 simple questions can mean answer to your strategy or would be your strategy. Let us look at a few more things. Strategy is an integrated set of choices that we make. To give you an example, I want to build a global business, but without any compromise on ethics. So no bribe taking, no bribe giving, no manipulation. That is I want to accomplish a global company without any of this. I think last time we talked about it. I spent my founding years in Tata Group, and I was awed by the social context early founders of Tata Group, right from 1866, brought to the table to building an enterprise. And whether it was Jamshedji Tata, the older Ratan Tata, JRD, or the current Ratan Tata, or the entire Tata Group, social context of an enterprise was always kept. So enterprise was there to build business, to make money, but not without a social context. So that is what they wanted to accomplish. Where would they want to play? Obviously, you all know about that. So strategy is an integrated set of choices. It's very, very important. What is the purpose of your enterprise? Is it social? Is it economic? Very, very important to understand. I hear many times early stage founders says, I want to do social good. Now, unless you have a strategy without having money to do social good, by all means, you do that. There are many world leaders who did not have money but had a social agenda. But sometimes you need money to be able to do well, or even your social agenda. So economic agenda is also very important. The purpose of enterprise is very, very important. And this is a question. It's easy for me to tell you this. It is very difficult for each one of us to internalize and say, what is the purpose for which I have started this? Very, very important. Because of the buzz of startups, I sometimes find many founders or many entrepreneurs into it without much thinking. Now that you have jumped into it without thinking through it, now you still have to discover the purpose of what you're trying to do. Very, very important. It's a different context for today's Tata Group to talk about social enterprise, but would have been a different context for Jamshedji Tata, who's the founder of Tata Group in the mid 18th and 19th century. So that time it was a startup. So what is the purpose of startup enterprise is also a very important question. Generally, you will see vision, mission, strategy, purpose, all of this with companies. Very few times you ask a question, what is the purpose of my startup? And it's important to answer that question also very, very clearly and succinctly. Okay? Your strategy statement should be concise. Few words, clear meaning, and it must be actionable. If it is not actionable, then it becomes a problem, and I'll share a few ideas here. Every activity in the strategy should be aligned to the purpose for which you created the company. I'll give you an interesting example. We have a entrepreneur from TiE Hubli Dharwad, and she has a security company. And she said, look, I want to, after attending the TiE program, she said, I want to play straight, no bribing, nothing, no violating the law. We will follow the law. We will do well, and we will not do anything which was not correct ethically and legally. But you run into customers who would want you to do all kinds of things, avoid the tax, do something, not pay, whatever else. Now, if you start doing that, then that activity is not aligned to the purpose of your enterprise. And this is a real life. And we had a conversation during our go-to-market. And I said, if you have customers like that who are forcing you to do something and your conscience is not allowing you, but that's not the purpose with which you started your company, talk to each one of them and say, this is what it is. I will not do this. I'm happy to service you if you are aligned on the same page, failing which, please look for an alternative vendor and I'll give enough time to do that. Some of them may start following you because they value your services. Some of them will go away, but then you will be clear to your conscience that every activity of yours is aligned to the purpose. Customer service is another one. For startups, it's not just the product or service. It is also how you handle your customers is very, very important. I'll give you one example of today morning. MedRabbits, as some of you may know, is a nurture company based out of Pune. I happen to be their mentor. Their value proposition is home care as an alternative to hospital, and it can happen to people for different reasons. I get an accident and I go to the hospital, I get an operation, everything is done, I come home, but I'm still limping or I'm not fully operational, and I need home care. I don't need to be in hospital for 1 month, but I need home care. MedRabbits will do that. I went through I'm old and I need permanent nursing at home. I need home care. MedRabbits will do that. So that is their business. And just to sort of share with you the exact example, I'm flying to Bangalore on Sunday, and I found out that in order to go from Maharashtra to Karnataka, I need an RT-PCR, though I have 2 doses of vaccine. So I had to get an RT-PCR test. So I called up MedRabbits, and it was very simple. He said, you can book on the app for an RT-PCR test, but you send me on WhatsApp and I will take care of it. Within about 5 minutes, I speak with the founder. I get a call from one of them, and I send my everything. And I said, look, tomorrow morning, I'm in a class from 10 to 11:30 with TiE Surat, and I won't be able to do this test during that time. So can you come early or after that? And they committed it today morning before 10 o'clock, much before 10 o'clock. The person was here, he took my swab and he went away. And then after that, I got a confirmation call from them saying, has this been done? Has it impacted your schedule? No. And it is possible you might say, you know him, you know the founder, they gave you a good service, but I have heard it from their customers whom I introduced someone and they don't even know that I introduced, and the same service is given. So the purpose is here to service the customer very well. In early stages in my company, Mojo Networks, which was wireless and wireless security, our large customers would raise a ticket with very large vendors like Cisco, HP, whose routers, switches, laptops, servers they had, but also call our 24/7 customer service to see if our engineer had a solution. And I said, never say no to this. We are a young company. We are knowledgeable. If we can solve a issue for our customer for any other product, it will only enforce our brand within the minds of the customer, and you'll be surprised how much of benefit we got, because word of mouth goes around that these guys solve not only their own issues, but their customer service is good, and it's not a call center. These are engineers who come and solve the problem. So while the product may be good, unless you make the customer comfortable, so it is possible that your purpose was to build a good customer, and that is what takes you further. So all of this has to be, you have to breathe the purpose. And reason I'm saying it is sometimes there is a dichotomy between what we want to do and what we actually do, and realigning them. I mean, it can never be 100%, but more and more realignment help build you clarity. Most important is that everybody around you feels good, because as a founder, entrepreneur, senior person, your people are looking to you for a lot of things. Okay. Many times we use tall words, big words, all kinds of things which sometimes confuse. So avoid buzzwords. I've seen AI, ML being used more than it ought to be. And so everything starts with AI, ML. In fact, in one of the AI talks that I gave, I start saying that even today, Panwala will say, "Sir, आपको सादा चाहिए कि AI वाला पान चाहिए?" You need to take away these buzzwords, world class, empowered, energetic, memorable, whatever it is. It should be concise, clear, and actionable. Is very important. Avoid generic statements. We want to help the world. I mean, what does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. Avoid cliches. So these are very important, because see, end of the day, your strategy is actionable and there's a purpose behind it. So it takes a bit of a time. Sometimes you will find that when you're doing it, you will struggle with it. You need multiple iterations, but once you get there, it's a big help to yourself and the organization. Planning is an important aspect. If the company doesn't have a plan, even if it is informal, a few notes of the founders, few conversations with the core team, please share with your core team, with your employees, with your vendors, with your consultants, whatever. Otherwise, they will not necessarily act as you want them to. And it is very important, therefore, to share strategy statement. Not only share, I would say in the early stages, when we say what is the purpose of a startup enterprise, sometimes we get clarity as we go along, and taking your early team with you is very, very important. Okay. What I'm going to do now is, next two slides, this one and the next one. This is actually a full class on strategy for new businesses. So we don't have time to go through that. But I want you to roll your eyes on some of the key words that I have highlighted here through yellow. So this is called outside and impacts framework. And impact is idea, market, positivity, acceptance by the customers. Will the value that you have is competitive, and I'll come to this particular point. Why is this the good time to do it, and how fast can you implement it? We've heard that speed and innovation are the two core limbs of startups. So how do we do that? It is a good idea to put your startup against a impacts and an outside test. So what is the idea? It is very important to ask that question. If you're looking for investment, is the market large enough to support valuation? Sometimes, people get zeroed in on such a narrow market that it does not. You can build a lifestyle business, and I would say, if that is your strategy and you are very clear that I'm going to build a business that is good enough for me, my family, my friends, my coming generation, I'm not going to build a merger acquisition type asset, perfectly fine. That is okay. That's good enough. But you need to have that clarity in your mind. Is the opportunity generating positive value? That means if you take this opportunity and do something about it in terms of product and service, does it create positivity? Does it create better value? Is very, very important. And the next one is, will the value be competed away? That means you build something and it becomes public, or somebody else builds it and puts in the market at a very low price or in a different manner, or that is not needed. All of those have to be important. You've seen Vodafone struggling today, and this struggle started after Jio came into the market. And so now they were a good company, I mean, whatever they were doing, but today they're struggling for different reasons. So sometimes values can be competed away. Is this the right time to enter the market? It's very, very important. And how fast can you implement it? Now, I'm not saying that everybody has to do a sprint. Hemlata talked about social enterprise, a 14 tree that I'm a director, and we work on that. Now, there we are talking about 25 years of horizon within which to do something. So if something happens in 2 to 3 years, we are pretty happy about it, because we have put our horizon to 25 years when something significant will happen. As against that, if you have a digital to commerce consumer business, then every day is important. So relativity of the speed is very, very important to you, and you are the only judge of all of that for yourself. So it is very important to understand that. Okay. Outside. Now look at what outside means. What are the uncertainties and how well can they be managed? Pandemic is an uncertainty. Those of you who have been in the business or were in the business in the first decade of this century, there was a financial meltdown during that time, and 2008, 2009 was a financial meltdown within which a lot of companies went down. So that uncertainty. So the uncertainty means something that will happen out of the blue for which you may or may not be ready. So you have to ask that question. An ex-boss of mine who was CEO always used to say, make sure that you have money in the bank for 10 to 12 months. If your business becomes zero and you have to pay only the salary and the benefits, can you survive? And the rent, can you survive for at least a year before you can pick up the threads of the business? Very important. Nothing happens, no revenue, company is there, but you don't want to let go of your employees. It's in hibernation, you'll come out of the hibernation. Possibly a good strategy. I don't know, but just share an example. Can the team implement the opportunity? This is one core issue with many startups, that they do not have the complete team. It is okay not to have the full team, but not knowing that you have gaps in yourself is the issue. So it's very important to understand that. Is the strategy consistent with what you're beginning to do? We said our strategy is what do you want to accomplish, where will you play, and how will you play? Is that strategy aligned to the opportunity uncertainty team? And if you're going to exit this business through an M&A or whatever means, is that aligned? I must also mention that sometimes startups become successful. They do a couple of rounds, they get some revenue, they get some traction, and founders just get swayed away. Somebody comes and says, I'll buy this company for whatever time, and they undersell it, they oversell, they just don't know how to handle sometimes some of these things. So it's very, very important to stay calm, stay composed, make the right calls, and strategy is required for that. If you need investment, do you have access to the investment? Means angel investors, early stage, debt, working capital, customers who are paying you so that some of that can be deployed for building the business. If you're bringing in an equity investment, is it really attractive? And if you're thinking of bringing in equity investors through whatever means, is there an exit for those investors? Because they'll be looking for an exit for the money that they have put. Many times founders don't think about it. So This is an overall framework on which we spend nearly a day trying to figure it out. I don't think we have time for it today. I just wanted you to get exposed to it and start thinking about it, read about it, so that you then can figure out for your own startups. Good opportunity has positive impact or impacts as it is mentioned in this context. If it does not have it, if the opportunity does not have the impact, then it is time for pause and rethink. That means that business may not be viable. You may not want to continue that. So it's important to pause and rethink on that business. If you're looking for investment and if it does not pass the outside test that I have outlined here, that investment will be difficult for you. You will not get it. It's a very nicely articulated that that investment may have to remain outside, means outside your company. So you don't get it. So, if you do not pass the outside test, that means don't know how to handle the uncertainty, you don't have the right team, or you don't have the strategy to build the team. The strategy is not consistent with your opportunity. You don't have access to the investment, so you won't get it. You're not making the deal attractive for the investors and stuff like that, then you won't get the investment. So very important. I must also mention that not all businesses need equity investment. And so when I started using investment in a larger context. So if you're generating customer centric revenue and you're getting cash flow positive, how do you handle that situation? Do you want to take that profit and enjoy yourself personally, or you want to put it back in the company in a strategic manner? I was talking to, Rakesh mentioned about Bombay Shaving, and I was just talking to the founder the other day, and I asked him this question. You're in a digital to commerce and you're very early stage. You have maybe revenue of 20 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 5 lakhs, less than 50 lakhs, but you're beginning to get some traction. What amount, and don't have the investment so far, how much money should you put in marketing? Now it's a very tricky question. You don't have money. So, one way to do it is whatever gross profit or whatever money you make in a particular period, it could be week, it could be month. He said minimum a month. You take that money and put it back in the promotion, because marketing promotion. Now you keep doing it, so your revenue grows and you keep building more and more money, more and more funds to put it back in the business. So business starts looking good, and that makes it attractive for investors. And when investors come, then you up the ante. Very, very nice way to put it. Otherwise, we don't know whether we want to put, X, Y, or Z into the company. And it's a good, sometimes good strategy to have. Now, does it work for everyone? I don't know, but it's a good way to think about it. Okay, sorry, I think I want to just go back. I want to stop here, and with this background, we're going to, pause here. We give you about, let's take about 20 minutes or so, and Hardik will share a Google form. It's a very simple form. In the beginning of the form, I have captured my slides so that in case, and what we want to do is to take this little input and try and, if you have a strategy already defined, please write it down in the form. If you do not have it, then the form will guide you to defining the strategy. Let's take 20-25 minutes to take this little exercise for all of you. Then we'll come back and do the Q&A, because once you start applying these little few ideas, you will get more questions, your more comments, and then we'll come back and do the Q&A. I'm going to stop sharing now and let Hardik, share the Google form. Yeah. Hardik, over to you now.
Yes, sir.
We're at 10:40 right now. Perfect.
Can everybody see?
Yeah, I can see the form now. Yes. So it's about, I think, 10:41 right now. Around 11 o'clock, between now to 10 to 11 o'clock, try and taking a shot at defining the strategy. So Hardik, they have to just click that URL and then go through it themselves, right?
Yes, I've shared the link in the
Yeah.
chat.
He has shared the link on the chat. So you'll have to click the URL and then you will be in the form. And then you need to just fill that form in. If you have any question regarding the form or anything, either you can ask right now by unmuting yourself or put it on the chat and we'll try and answer that.
આવી ગયો છે હમણાં કોઈ? હા તો 11:30 ચાલશે? ચાલે એમ છે તો પેલા એમને કેટલા ટકા પડશે? પણ ગઈકાલનું છે ને? ખબર તો પછી થોડીક વારમાં ગઈકાલ
I think we have about 5 minutes, right, Hardik, now?
Yes, sir.
So some of you are messaging that you have done it. Wonderful. Those of you who are still working out, that is very normal. 20 minutes is too short a time to outline your strategy, but take a shot at it.
I think you are on mute.
Yeah. And I was just saying, Hardik, that we have just about a minute to go, but nobody should feel stressed out to finish in a minute. You just stop at 11 o'clock, come back to the class, and you can continue your exercise later for yourself. Wonderful. I think should we open up the Q&A now?
Yes, please, sir.
Okay. It's interesting, how our mind works. Towards the end, we now see 3-4 more people who have finished their strategy. And I can tell you from my experience, whether you take a sport or things like jog, whatever you want to run, for example, you set out to run for 10 kilometers, last 2 kilometers, if there is a competition, you'll probably run faster than before because you want to improve yourself. If you have, for example, you're playing cricket and you have, some scores and deadline, again, the same thing happens that you try and finish very, very quickly. So that is what has happened. Now I want to open it up for question answers. So, please unmute yourself and ask, or you can also put it on the chat. Yeah. Rakesh Doshi, he shared a couple of ideas with me on the chat. And, after maybe a couple of questions, I'm going to request Rakesh to share his perspective on the impact side. But before that, any questions from anyone?
Hello, sir. This is
Yeah.
Jayashree. I had a question. How would you, definitely this exercise has allowed focused thinking and re-looking at everything. So how would you differentiate strategy compared to vision statements and mission statements? I understand strategy is much more involved and it's a path, and vision is it's more broader. But
Vision is a lot more broader.
Yeah.
It's very, Jayashree, very individualistic, to be honest with you. But, we said that what is it that you want to accomplish?
Yeah.
That possibly could be, your vision could be the beginning of that.
Yeah.
Or that may help you to outline your mission or vision.
Okay. Yeah.
That is one way to look at it. Frankly, sometimes you see vision and mission stated but not followed through. That would be better not to have anything than you write and don't follow it up.
Yeah.
So that is one. But purpose is little closer to what you want to accomplish. Is a good idea to look at it. But that's where you'll begin. But I think you have asked a very important question. I'd like to see some others who want to talk about it, but maybe we should stay in touch build on this topic on vision, mission. How does it fit into when you're doing the strategy? I'm sure there's a role for when you're doing the strategy, somewhere you come up with the mission to begin with. I sometimes find mission can be more tangible. Here is my mission. Here's what I want to do. I want to reduce my weight. I want to reduce my weight by 10%. That's your mission. Like, the junior Ambani, he decided to, get rid of his fat, and there was a mission. So, you do everything to accomplish the mission. So it is possible to do that. But I think let's stay on the topic, Jayashree. I like what you said. I'll also think through it, and then, need to do some more. As I think Rakesh mentioned before we started class, see, there is always a theoretical foundation for something that is consistently good. So in this case also, there must be a theoretical foundation. I guess we just have to go find it. But that's what I would do right now.
Yeah, because for me, the reason it took me to a little bit longer than I expected was translating the vision and the mission into a strategy, because I always think about strategy as more tactical this thing, and we say, okay, this is exactly how we want to, what are the goals that we want to achieve, and we devise a strategy around it. But within just making a statement, how do you make a statement was a little bit challenging, but it was, I thought, a very thought-provoking exercise.
It is actually, and it is difficult. Those of you who struggle with it, I struggle with it all the time. I mean, I see 15 strategy statements and they all make intellectual sense to me. But if I have to do one for myself, I would probably scribble on several pieces of paper or have a Word document all over the place edited. So it is absolutely right. But I think let's pick this topic.
Okay.
I will also do another thing. You know, our charter member Ravi Nigam, who runs a very good strategy masterclass. I think, you know, I'll have a conversation with him. We often do this over a glass of red wine. So then some creativity starts flowing in, and we will come back to it. But stay and Jayashree, whatever you come up with, do
Okay.
share. And all of you, any of you have specific thoughts, because a lot of this content that we are doing here for all of us, you know, I don't normally go to Google to copy paste.
Yeah.
I build it myself. And then I had mentioned in the previous class also, then I compare with some of the business schools, or talk to some people, and then validate your idea, because नहीं तो experience का कोई फायदा नहीं है. Let's see, any other question? Anybody else?
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
We have a question from Isha. How do you prioritize amongst multiple strategies for go-to-market? As at very early stage, many things are experimented.
Very, very good, Isha. You know, if you're experimenting, then you know that that experiment may succeed or may not succeed, right? So if it succeeds, you know, you're doing an experiment to prove a hypothesis. Let's take the classical science as a backdrop. You do an experiment to prove a hypothesis or a theory. If it is proven, the hypothesis is proven, then you scale it up. You know that it works. If it doesn't work, you know it doesn't work, and you try and look for alternative. That is one aspect to your question. Prioritizing among multiple things, it's no different than someone juggling multiple balls. So you don't take too many balls in your hand where they will fall through. A few things will definitely fall through because we are all aspirational and we'll pick few things more. But you know, there must be a movement forward from our experiments or our prioritizing. It's very, very important. I will also share one thing with all of you, and I want all of you to think about it. I'm not saying that's the way to do it. See, we are founders. So हम लोग जब कंपनी या बिजनेस क्रिएट करते हैं, हम लोगों की पैशन बहुत स्ट्रांग होती है. I mean, we are almost like mad people doing it, and I'm sure many of you have seen. You know, for example, 14 Tree Foundation, which is my co-founder from Mojo, you know, he always says that my whole family thinks I'm a lunatic. So wo hota hai, you know, if that happens, in that situation, we don't give up our ideas very, very quickly. So giving up and experimenting is very important to go forward, number one. Number two, somebody else, as the company grows, we build our team, so different people come into our team. They may do the same thing differently than we, the founders. Giving them that space is the most difficult thing, because we know one particular way to do something. Even let's say take prioritizing things. You may have a particular way to prioritize, Isha, but when you build a company, somebody else may do it differently. Allowing that space so that the overall growth happens is a challenge for all of us. So that is how I would put it. But on the experiment, I would just pick the yes and no and take it forward. Anything, let's see if there is one more. How does, okay, perfect. Any other question from anybody else? Okay, so what I'm going to do is, and think about the question, you know, Rakesh, let me just sort of read out what Rakesh mentioned to me, and then I will have him comment on it. He says, importance of uncertainties and the impact that would have on a business. What kind of uncertainties can happen? It is very important, and how can one factor into the current strategy? These are very important points according to Rakesh. And Rakesh, I would like you to sort of share it with everybody, and then we'll see if we can find some way forward here.
Yeah. Good morning, Kiran, and everybody else also. I thought I am very conversant with strategy making, and I am considering myself to be a very good strategist. But these two aspects, whether your business or your proposal is really impactful, that was one big realization. Because now I understand if it is not that much impactful, it's time to rethink. मतलब ऐसे छोटे छोटे काम नहीं करना चाहिए, at least at this age, right? And uncertainty. तो impact wise I am pretty clear कि जो मेरा नया venture है, it is quite impactful. पर uncertainty तो वहाँ पर दो issues है. One कि I am still confused in making a point कि whether there can be statutory या तो legality wise कुछ uncertainty आ सकती है, या तो competition से uncertainty आ सकती है, या मेरे टीम फॉर्मेशन में से कोई की पर्सन छोड़ के चला जाता है. तो उससे कौन कौन सी अनसर्टेनिटी होती है कि जो फैक्टर इन करनी चाहिए. दैट वाज पॉइंट नंबर 1. और फिर अभी से ही मतलब अभी तो शुरू नहीं किया और अभी ऐसे सब चीज का फैक्टर इन करने लगे तो फिर एनालिसिस पैरालिसिस में हम पड़ जाएंगे. तो ऐसा मुझे कंफ्यूजन है.
Very important, huh? Very important. You know, I want to tell all of you a little story here. When I became TechM CEO, you know, it's interesting that when you're a chief executive officer, not an entrepreneur which you have created, but hired by a board, you know, it can be good and bad both, because you're hired, so everybody is observing you, and nobody hires a new CEO until there is a crisis. You know, that the previous CEO did not. If the previous CEO was working out, then why would you change? So, you know, there's something not right. So you have to set it right. Now, how do you do it is a very important question. So, you know, I'll not go into too many details, but I realized that early stage in that company, they were good people, very competent people, but they had never played at a level which they, in my opinion, they could play. And मेरा एकदम उल्टा था. I used to push myself, and I played where I was not fully competent, but I got lucky. It's like, you know, first time player hits a century, you know, दुनिया भर की गलती होती है लेकिन century लग जाती है, ऐसा था. But I knew an HR person who I brought on board, and she did a management class, and couple of things came out: allergy to uncertainty and fear of failure. These are two most important tenets in all of us. All of us have fear of failure. You know, I probably, you know, this is my second class to try Surat. You know, if you invite me a few weeks later, I'll prepare the same way कि यार 2 बार तो ठीक ठाक हो गया, तीसरी बार खराब नहीं हो जाए. So, you know, stuff like that. So I'll always prepare for it, and that fear is good. Extra fear where it paralyzes you is also not good. Uncertainty life में हमेशा होती है. How much can you let it influence your life is also very important. So every call by us may take that into account, but we move forward. Like, you know, Isha asked, experiment fail hota hai ki nahi? Rakesh, you were saying that, you know, you're trying multiple things. Kuch kaam karti hai, kuch nahi karti hai. This always happens. Somebody just asked a question, how do I prioritize my customer base? There is an experimentation in all of this in the early stages of a startup. Now it is very difficult for founders, but the good founders manage that. Sometimes they'll say yes, sometimes they'll say no, sometimes they will make the right call. If you make, in my opinion, 70% calls which are right, 70% calls, if you make them right in your life, you know, life will not be unreasonable. Sometimes you may run on the wrong end of the stick, but life won't be unreasonable. So that's the way I would address it. I won't. And analysis to paralysis is one thing. If you're, I think you should sense analysis to paralysis and get out of it and do something. Never stop there. So that's what I would say. Let's see, there are some more questions here. Let's see. How do I, Khushbu says, how do I create customer base with the right audience? So Khushbu, I'm just trying to understand your question. Are you saying that you want to create a customer base, or you want to make sure that your narrative of what you're offering is reaching the right set of people?
Yes, actually that. And then how do I convert them into my customers?
How you convert them? Okay, so दूसरा वाला difficult है, पहला वाला तो मैं आपको जवाब दे देता हूँ. So, and I always keep focus on all of us, that we are small companies. So we are experimenting, we are innovative, we are very passionate. We do crazy things, कोई भी दिखता है तो किसी ने बोले, अरे you are creating a good company, तो हमको लगता है customer बन गया, है नहीं? That is human life. And that passion and that excitement keeps a founder going. So I will never say no to that. But do they? One yardstick is, do you have something that they are looking for? Do you have something that they are looking for? Are they asking you questions for more things than you have? So you have a product. हम लोग बात करते हैं ना minimum value product वगैरह वगैरह. So minimum value product की एक corollary ऐसी है कि you take that minimum value product to someone and he says, this is good, but I need A, B, and C, right? Many people get dejected with that. I get excited. आपसे बात तो की है उन्होंने. You have 5 things out of 8 and that person is asking you for 3 more. Now, can you give them a roadmap by which you will bring those 3 more, and will they come on board? That is one part of the answer. Second part of the answer is, organize the way by which you look at your business pipeline. So someone is a suspect. You talk, Khushbu, for example, you talk to someone, person likes what you have. He happens to be a family friend. So you have unreasonable reach to that person and they like it. Now from there to their buying is a process, 3, 4, 5, 6 step process. I think that process you have to manage in the sense that, will they sign a check? Will your brother sign a check for you or do an online transfer for something that you're offering? Will they say, I'm buying from you? Do they have budget? Do they have a need? All that stuff. So I think that process sometimes is built into founders, but laying that process down, very important. And my last part of answer to your question would be, at some stage, we have to say no to something. And I'll give you one example of that from my own company. Against general movement, we built Wi-Fi access point that provided security. Now, the first thing that happens, you go anywhere, universities and colleges, Wi-Fi lagta hai, it's no-brainer, right? When we started selling enterprise, Wi-Fi tha hi nahi. People had Ethernet cable. But I said, we will not go to university, and I've given that example. And the reason for that was, it was very price sensitive. The college wanted very cheaper devices and they could not care about our security. Why do we want to go there? So I knew a lot of few directors of IITs and all that. I said, I'll come and give a talk here on radios, but I don't see you as my customer. Very, very clear. However, one of my team members got a lead from a major university in Pune. And they knew my view here. If you take it to Kiran, he'll say, why are you wasting your time? This is not the place. But these guys worked on it. And I was given a PO, purchase order, for a price for our secure Wi-Fi from a university, which I could not say no. So I looked at it and they were looking at me that I will say, why did you go there? I said, look, I told you, I take the cricket analogy, that don't hit this shot because this shot is not good for you. But if you have hit the shot and ball is out of the park, I'm only going to clap for you. And from there onwards, because we also had built a brand for ourselves, we created amazing, ecosystem among tier 1 institution for our Wi-Fi. So पलटी खाया मैंने, किसी को लगेगा पलटी खाया, पलटी नहीं खाया, strategy को फिर से restate किया. So now we were ready for that strategy. So it is important that something that you won't do, you will do later. Your team might do it differently. All of these are, so it's a composite thing. That's the reason it is difficult. But stating it, everybody knew that I would question them if they ever. And the first thing used to happen when we had partners for us, the first deal that partner will bring is a college. And I would say, don't bring me a college. I want to see a company here. I want to see a bank, I want to see a large corporate group, I want to see an IT company. I don't want to go to and sell to a college. So one way, and each one of you would have your own go to and not go to, do and not do strategy, but it should be clear. Don't pay bribe. I told my people, do not pay bribe, period. No questions, yes and no Boolean. There were situations sometimes when we had to go to Mumbai to talk to Indian customs. Not that they were asking for bribe, but there was a difficult situation with some of the government regulation that, like Rakesh said, two government departments having seemingly contradictory regulation. Not that the government was badly intent; it was just too new for them.
Right.
Met and sorted it out. So, sometimes, and I have walked away from business when somebody asks for price. So that's my view of doing it. More questions? I think we have some more time. I just need 2-3 minutes for I have 2 more slides to share with you, but we maybe have another 5 minutes for questions. Yeah, good question, Dr. Madhura. What happens to the responses we gave? Very good question, Hardik. We have to, think through. I think that let me sort of share with you what should happen with it, but it will require resources. What should happen is that we get into a workshop mode and help you finalize your strategy. If this is the beginning, now it will require some amount of management planning, tie Surat to put it together. And I would leave it to Hardik, Rakesh, and the team over there, Hemlata, to see what do we do with it. I, for one, would certainly go through all your responses over next maybe week or two. And, if you want, I mean, talk among yourself, we can probably come back and do another session to look at all the responses after you've worked on it. I have no problem doing that.
All right, thank you.
Any other question? Anything else anybody wants to ask?
We have one more question from Komal. Being a first aid device for fracture, our target market is wide, like sports, academics, schools, industries. How do we proceed?
Good question. And this is Komal, this is an issue that many founders face. So, one way to do it is to pick and see, very honestly, I don't know enough about how the market dynamics is playing out for you. But first aid device for fracture, where would you get your early resonance or the market tango? Pick that particular area, be it sports, academics, be it industry, be it schools. So do some more thinking there and pick 1 or 2 of them and focus on that and then expand horizontally. That's the way I would do it. In order to do it, you also have to keep in mind, does the customer or that ecosystem have money to pay for it? Number 1. Number 2, will it pay the price that you're asking? And that basically means, will they see value when they pay you a particular price? So it's very important to understand all that and then go after that market. Just the way I mentioned to you that I did not see universities and colleges as the market where we could get value for our product. Nothing against them. They probably did not value. I thought they did not value, or they did not. That was not the concern for them. They wanted, less expensive devices. While we had we could not throw our security, so we did that. But later we expanded to that. Our early adopters are healthcare centers right now. So work with them. If they pay you well, but if if it's a destruction of your pricing, then don't do it. You'll have to go look for another market. So this is I think core here is pick 1 or 2 areas, focus on them, build it up. You pick the area based on its growth potential and their ability to pay you and how easy can you make the sale, and then build it from there. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Any last question? I want to share a light slide with all of you. One heavy slide, one light slide before we disconnect. Okay, so Rakesh, Hardik, should we, let me just go back to my presentation again, and let me see if I can pull that slide up. I'm going to share the screen now. Can you see the slide? Oh my God.
Slightly off center.
Huh? Slightly off. Let me, okay. Okay. Let me just animate it. Let's see. Can you see the slide now?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, this is a bit heavy slide. You know, I was teaching at IIT Bombay over past a few weeks, and I put this slide together as a single slide of entrepreneur's journey, right from idea, ideation, all the way to a private equity, strategic, IPO, entire life cycle. So obviously, you don't remain a
Mhm.
startup towards the when it becomes green to blue to dark blue. But the first half is obviously a startup. The second, they may not remain a startup, but they might. So, you know, your strategy stays with you right through this entire life cycle as a founder. Definitely, you know, if you look at Google founders, they're still strategizing. Gates was strategizing. You know, TCS senior leadership is strategizing. All of this is very, very important. So, you know, keep this whole canvas in mind as to how far will you go. It's like I'm going to run a Ironman, and you know, during that journey, I'm going to swim, I'm going to cycle, I'm going to jog. You know, turns, twists, everything will come. As Rakesh says, uncertainties will happen. But my strategy, I must go back to my strategy and continue to do that. That is one slide. Let me go to the next slide here. This is an interesting one. Uh, this is a conversation with Ravi Nigam, and we were sitting and chatting once. And I've always been baffled by the amount of impact technology has on humans. We somehow think technology can do everything for us. And we sort of put it on a, we were talking and I put it on an XY axis. You take data, raw data, and then we have Excel and programs and software, and you know, we can massage that data and create a lot of sense out of it. That raw data becomes information that we have, like the Olympics, we're getting a lot of information. From there to create knowledge about which athlete has the wherewithal to win a gold, silver, and the whole knowledge about the Olympics, the international competition, what it takes to create a winner, that knowledge is there. And then comes the wisdom. And interestingly, impact of technology, in my opinion, tends to have less and less impact. Technology has less and less impact as you move from data to
Okay,
wisdom.
okay. Okay, sounds good.
And wisdom is what we need in abundance as we build our startup journey. So, by all means, use technology for data, information, knowledge, but build wisdom for which you are by yourself. Technology will be helpful, but not entirely helpful. But wisdom is very, very important. And sometimes wisdom also means you do things against the tide of what other people are doing. So it's very, very important to understand that. So I want to sort of stop here and thank you all for being with this session. And, we will keep looking at your responses. Do reach out to us and do reach out to Thai Surat for, if you want to work on this further and we can, get together again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I would request the Thai Women Core member Anupama Sultania for the
Hi, good morning, everyone. That feeling of thankfulness and not expressing is like wrapping a gift and not giving it away. So that's the reason I would like to put across gratitude for each one of us who are present here. My foremost thanks goes to TiE Surat as well as TiE Pune for continuously evolving and creating this applied knowledge stream for its members. Now, this would not have been possible without today's speaker, Mr. Kiran Deshpande. So, thank you, sir, for giving us an amazing session on business strategy. The thing is, we speak about strategy every day, sometimes 20 times a day, but actually knowing a meaning of it and its application and how it is so, I mean, the second last slide that you shared with us, that it stays with us for the entire business cycle, is something that we are not aware about until and unless we have some formal education in business management and strategies. So that was very amazing. So thanks for sharing some pieces of wisdom of yours with us. That was very important. And most importantly, I would like to thank each and every one of you who are present here, because you have been an amazing and intriguing audience, I would want to say, because there were questions which actually intrigued a lot many thoughts. Deshpande sir, I really like the exercise because it actually, created that tingling in here. It helped a lot. So thank you so much for taking out time on Friday morning and actually having this session. I mean, have an amazing day ahead and a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Anupama, if I had to do that exercise, I would have struggled. So thank you for undertaking that exercise. It was easy for me to ask a question. Answers are where the difficulty is. So thank you all. Thanks for
Thank you.
all
Thank
the
you,
best.
everyone.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kiranji. And Anupama, you summarized this really well.
Excellent.
Really nice. Thank you, Kiranji. Adikbhai, fine, saras coordinate કર્યું. Great.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.